Hello, hello to you, rad person, wherever you are, whoever you are. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you for being here, for real, and listening to me and watching me do my thing. This old soul essentials thing. Welcome if this is your first time. Welcome, welcome to Old Soul Essentials. And if you saw my first video, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in again. So, I'm going to jump right into things today. And this video is going to build on the first video that I did, which was all about how a bad start is better than no start. A start is a start, and no start is definitely lesser than even a bad or ugly start. So on that note, and also today I'm going fully noteless, no, and I never do scripts. I do try to use notes, or I don't try to, but notes help me out. I'm pretty forgetful. Anyway, I'm a noteless freak today. So, and I got a pretty good idea about what I want to say, and I just wanted to do this one off the cuff and basically, wing it, so to speak. So, yeah, let's get right into it. Some logical, reasonable, solid guidance and advice for you and anyone else you know that you can use pretty much anytime, all the time. So, like I said, the first video was how a bad, ugly start, not great, but it's better than not starting at all. So on this, keeping on this sort of branch of beginnings, if there's something, and I did talk about this in the other video a little bit, but it wasn't a focus. So this video, the focus is, don't wait, do it now. That is your your tidbit of advice for today's video. Don't wait, do it now. It's very simple, just kind of like the last one. And I think a lot of these little maxims or truths or facts or bits of guidance, whatever you want to call them, like I said, I think they're all going to end up being very simple. But that doesn't mean that it's not valuable, that it's not effective. And where it's kind of an obvious thing, sometimes we just miss things when they're right in front of us, right in front of our nose. We forget, so on, blah, blah, blah. So don't wait, do it now. I really first started kind of having that be a thing in my mind and something I embraced in my own life when I was about 30. When I was exactly 30 is when I first started my first big road trip that I ever took. I was 30. I had a pickup truck. I took the bed off, built a little cabin on the back, and I went on this road trip that was supposed to last 6 months, and it kind of just never ended. I am a full-time van lifer, so to speak, but instead of a van, I had that pickup truck, and I have a school bus now. So we are in my schoolie. This is my bedroom. Anyway, before I went on that road trip, I'm the type of person to do a lot of homework and research. I like to get the skinny on all the ins and outs and details, things that I need to know before I do something, tips and tricks and all the whatever. One of the most common things that I found in doing my homework before going on this first ever road trip, I had never been on any road trip really in my life before that. I'd never really traveled, done like perpetual traveling. I've, flown somewhere and taken a little trip, there and back, but I never did the sort of wandering meander, full on road trip sort of thing. Anyway, when I was looking up, online, Googling stuff, like what do you need to know, looking at different people's blogs or whatever, WordPress, and this and that. I spent a lot of time on it and I got a lot of different bits of advice. But one of the most common things that came up was this idea of don't wait, don't put it off. Don't wait, do it now. That was extremely prevalent, and it was like a consensus. Like every single person that had any experience traveling or doing a trip, road tripping, van life, vagabonding, all that, top 10 lists, top things to do and know before you go on a trip or whatever, was that right there. Don't wait, do it now. I was just seeing that everywhere. And so I took that and I ran with it. And I applied it to my goal of doing that road trip, which I did. And it, like I said, I started it and kind of never stopped it. And it's always stuck with me, that concept. And I've tried to apply it to pretty much anything that I'm thinking about doing. And this channel is one example of that, where I had thought about doing a YouTube channel for quite a while. I do have a couple going right now, but all of them are like brand new. And this is one of the newest. So what else can I say about don't wait, do it now? I guess I'm a good example of how important it is to operate on that idea most of the time. Sometimes there's always exceptions to the rule. Sometimes it is good to wait a little bit or just time something carefully, not rush into something, or not everything you need to just dive into and jump into. You got to use your discretion pretty much all the time with anything. So there are times when you do want to wait and do it later and not now. But by and large, for the most part, whatever the heck it is that you want to do, start a YouTube channel, start learning an instrument, go go find a partner if you're single, whatever it is, whatever the heck it is that you want to do. Usually it's better not to put it off, not to procrastinate, not to wait, not to hesitate. And there's plenty of good examples of how useful that is, how that can be useful in your life. And one that I always remember is before I started doing the van life thing when I was younger, I had a series of apartments in life, and I would pretty much always have roommates. And I very clearly remember that oftentimes I'd be hanging out at home, just a regular day, and I hadn't taken a shower yet. And then it would occur to me, hey, I haven't taken a shower today. I got to take a shower. Maybe I should take a shower right now. And in that moment, like the bathroom is, no one's in there. I have a roommate, but he's not using it. So it's like in that second, in that moment that I had the idea that I need to take a shower and maybe I should and could and kind of want to, had I acted on that impulse in that moment, when I had the opportunity, the window was open, no one's in the bathroom. I could go take a shower right then and there in that moment. But very often I'd be like, I'll take one a little later. I'd procrastinate. I'd put it off. I'd wait. I wouldn't do it now. And so, half the day goes by, a few hours later, now I really, really, really want to take a shower and I don't want to wait. So what do? I go walk to the bathroom to go take my shower, and guess what? My roommate's in there taking a shower, and he takes really long showers, like a lot of people do. A lot of people do. So you get the point. Now I have to wait. Now I have no choice. The window's closed. The opportunity is gone. It's gonna come back. He's gonna get out eventually. But you get the idea. I had the chance to take a shower when I wanted to or when I thought of taking one. And now that I'm really, really, really wanting to do my shower, I can't. And there's many ways in life that a similar thing like that happens. That's just one downside of putting something off, is that sometimes when you put something off and then later on you actually try to go and do it, you might not be able to. You might have no choice but to have to wait for who knows how long, when if you had just done it when you had the idea, the first time you had the idea, you would it'd already be done. Other downsides to putting things off and procrastinating, I guess one of the biggest and most obvious ones is that when you put something off and procrastinate, you probably already know it is ridiculously easy. It's just so easy to never even do it at all, ever. Because once you put it off, it almost becomes a habit to put that thing off. You just keep putting it off. You keep putting it off. Like for people who haven't traveled, it's like, oh, I want to travel someday. But I want to make sure everything's perfect, everything's right. And, you do want to prepare a little bit, but nothing will ever be totally perfect. And this is all stuff you've probably heard before. And here I am, I'm just reminding you. I'm just pointing it out for you again, giving you a little wake-up call, saying, hey, this is a real thing. If you keep putting something off, the second you put something off, the second you procrastinate, the second you start waiting on doing something, you are like initiating what will probably become a pattern of that. And what will happen is time flies, obviously, whether you're having fun or you're not. Even if you're not having fun, I'm 40 now. I've had so far a pretty good life, hard times, but it's anybody will tell you it's, and at times just seems like it gets faster and faster as you get older. Uh, One example, I guess, something I didn't really purposely put off, so to speak, but I did wait on was I have one of my younger sisters, my youngest sister. She's locked up. She made a pretty big mistake many years ago. She'll be out within a few years. She's at the very end of her sentence. But when she first went in, I really wanted to write to her. And when I would think about, okay, I need to write to my sister, I'd get stuck on thinking, like, what's the first thing I should say? What should I talk about? I'd just kind of get stuck on what to write about to her. And then while I'd be thinking of that, like, what do I write? Where do I start? I don't even know what to say. How do I say this or that? I'd just be thinking about it and not doing it. And in that process of thinking about it, my mind would just naturally get distracted and gravitate to something else. I'd go, just kind of inadvertently end up doing something else and totally forget that I was even trying to figure out how to start writing to my sister. And then, a week or two would go by and I'd be like, oh, I still haven't written to my sister yet. I need to write to her. And then I'd be back in that mode of like, what do I say? And I'd think and think and think and wouldn't actually sit down and just write something. And that turned into a pattern. It would come up in my mind constantly, like, hey, Joe, you got to write to your sister that, she's locked up. That's just one little thing that would probably really brighten her day. And time went by quickly. Days, weeks, months, years. Unfortunately, but fortunately, I didn't start writing to her until well after she was halfway done with her sentence. I think it was like a 14-year sentence. And I only started writing to her about a year ago, maybe. Which, like I said, it's unfortunate that it took me that long, but I'm glad I finally did it. And what I did was I broke that cycle. I'm like, just write anything. Just write anything to her. And one thing that I kind of helped me was, instead of sitting down and writing like a long letter, I was like, I'll write her a postcard. I'll just say, hey, I think about you. I've been wanting to, and that's the first thing I did mention in that first postcard was, I've been wanting to write to you forever. And I kept on getting stuck on what to say. And the next thing I knew, years went by. And I wanted to just start writing to you. And so I just wrote her a little postcard, said, hey, how are you? Told her the deal, and I miss you, I think of you, I love you. I'll write to you again. And I've been pretty consistent with that. I write her on average once a week, sometimes a few times a week. Ideally, I send her a postcard every other day, just because, when it's mail call and you're in that crappy place, that's one little thing that makes it that much better. But anyway, you get the idea. I waited, and for no really good reason. And time just went by. Time went by really fast. And that's what happens to us with things that we want to do, particularly things that we want to do because we like to do something. Like a lot of things that we want to do, like I want to get up in the morning at X hour so that I can go to work, even though I don't like my job. Even though I don't like doing that, I do want to do that because I want to get paid and have money, blah, blah, blah. Where was I going with that? Yeah, the things that we really want to do that are joyful for us, like going on a vacation, going on a road trip, learning a language, learning a new instrument, making changes about how you behave in your relationship, whatever it is. Things that could enrich your life. Why are you waiting? What are you waiting for? Right now, probably safe to say that there are at least a half a dozen, if not a dozen or more things that you want to do, that you would enjoy doing, that you had the idea to do months ago or years ago or decades ago, God forbid. And a lot of those things, probably there's nothing stopping you from doing those things except you. A lot of the times it's not a matter of like, oh, I don't have enough money, or I don't have enough time, or I'm not whatever. Those are all excuses. Some things we do need like boatloads of money to do, but so many other things are usually either free or cheap to do and to start. So I think you're hopefully getting the picture about don't wait, do it now. Because if you wait, you may never do it. And eventually it'll be too late. You don't want to be that person that is, if you're lucky, late 80s or mid 90s, old as old as hell, and you don't want that to be when you realize like I could have done all these things and I didn't do them. And that's just not, you're not going to feel good. Obviously, you know that. I think it's just easy to forget. We get the idea to do something, like with me wanting to write to my sister. I really, really wanted to do that. But before I could actually bring myself to do it, I would just get distracted. I would literally like the phone would ring, or my brain, my inner dialogue would just branch off onto something else kind of intuitively, automatically, and then thoughts of writing to my sister were gone until the next day or the next the next week. Whatever it is that you want to do, start small, start with something. Take the advice from the first video that a bad start is better than no start, and pair that with don't wait, do it now. Beginnings, Genesis, you got to start somewhere. If you never start, if you never begin, then there's nothing. There's just nothing. If I was never born, if my life never had that start, that beginning, even though my childhood was great, I did have a lot of fun as a kid, but there were some pretty harsh times. So I guess maybe my life kind of had a bad start, but it did have a start nonetheless. And had I not had the beginning of me, all the things that I love, all the things that I enjoy, I wouldn't be loving and enjoying. Listening to music, hanging out with friends, playing my guitar, eating junk food. So don't wait. Do it now. Seriously. I've seen, and I'm sure you've seen it happen with so many people. And I'm a fairly firm believer that for the most part, if you put something off, the second you start putting something off, chances are you're never gonna fucking do it. You will never do it. I'm telling you right now. And if you do, when you do finally do it, you're gonna wish you started, you're gonna wish you did it way sooner. But at the same time, if you eventually get around to it, I guess better late than never. Maybe that'll be the next video. Better late than never. With most things, that applies. Like where I left off was it's never too late for most things. It's never too late to learn an instrument. Never too late to work on yourself, to start exercising, go down the list. Most things it's not too late to do. And I guess, yeah, so yeah, we're just wrapping this up. Don't wait, do it now, because if you wait, you might get to a point where you lose the opportunity to do something. And for any number of reasons that could happen. You could either, something could happen to you health-wise, physically, to prevent you from ever doing something again that you once could have done or had the chance to do when you were physically able, and now you're not physically able anymore, or you get sick or whatever. Then there's also the fact that we're all going to die someday. Eventually, we're all going to die, and that means our time is running out. We only have a certain amount of time here on this, in this world, to do what we want to do. And that sand is just constantly falling through that hourglass, and whatever it is that you want to do, you best get on it, because you are running out of time, literally, to do that thing. Like I said, I didn't have notes at all for this video. And even though I've had a pause moment where I had to fix this video thing, I don't think there's anything I really missed or left out. If I did, maybe I'll just put it in the comments or something. But I covered the most important stuff. So now at this point, all you got to do is figure out what's the first thing you're going to do on your list. I'm sure you've got a list of things you've been wanting to do for a long time. So right now, the first thing you should probably do, or if I were you, the first thing I would do is maybe make a list, an actual written list if you don't have one. That'd be a good place to start. Make a list of things you want to do, big and small, and then just pick one or two things that you can either do tonight or tomorrow or as soon as possible. But, you know, like I say, tomorrow at the latest, or within reason. If you physically, or it's impossible to do tomorrow, do it whatever next week, or but that's the whole thing, is don't be putting these things off. So figure out what's the first thing you're going to do, and figure out, put a deadline, put a time on it, and stick to that time. Like, I'm going to do this thing starting tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. I know that's not right, but if you want to go to Fiji and you have a job and you don't have a ton of money, you probably can't go to Fiji the day after tomorrow. You get what I'm saying. But pick something you can do tomorrow. Pick something you can do tonight. Like I said, make that list and find something that you can do. I say tonight because it's night where I'm at, but maybe it's morning where you are or when you're watching this. So make this list, and as soon as you're done with that list, find something that you can do on that list as soon as you're done with the list. And then pick out like something that you can do, later that same day. And then pick something out that you could do tomorrow. Just start doing the things you want to do. Your life, it's your life. You want to be living it. Well, like I said, I've probably covered anything that really, really matters. Anything that if I feel like I left something out or realize I missed something, I'll put it in the comments. And hopefully, if you have anything at all to share, feedback, criticism, a story about something you struggled to finally do, or if you want to just tell me or let the other YouTubers know about something that you're going to be doing that you've been putting off, put that in the comments so we can all support each other and doing the things that we've been wanting to do but have been slacking. So now I don't want to take up any more of your time. This video ended up being a lot longer than I set out for it to be. But like I said, I just winged this one. So on that note, thank you for taking your time to spend it here virtually with me. I hope that you don't feel like you've wasted your time. I hope you feel like you got something out of this. I hope something clicked for you. And you know, for fuck's sake, you better go and do something that you've been wanting to do. Go do it. Stop waiting. Seriously, stop waiting. You don't have to wait. Why are you waiting? Well, tune in for the next one. I don't know what it's going to be, but there's plenty more to come. Episode 2 of Old Soul Essentials in the bank. We did it together. Much love to you. Thanks again. For real. You are beautiful and awesome and rad. And you can do anything for the most part. You can pretty much do anything. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do it. So stop waiting. Don't wait. Do it now. All right. That's it. I'm going to lounge for the rest of the night. It's early morning hours for me now. So, you will see me next time. I won't see you because there's just a camera here. But in spirit, I'm seeing you. I know there's somebody there listening. And in a strange way, I can feel that, I guess. Anyway, I'm out of here. Catch me next time, you guys. Like and subscribe, or I'll use the hose on you. All right, and don't wait, do it now, or I'll use the hose on you. Okay, bye.